Mm. That is so good. Welcome to Send Noodz. I'm Emerald, and today we're gonna get a little saucy and make some really delicious noodles, and I can promise you these are gonna be hotter than anything that's probably ever slid into your DMs. Mine, at least. Today we're gonna be making some Dan Dan Noodles or Dan Dan Mian. They're a spicy Sichuan noodle that gets covered in this really gorgeous sesame sauce, and on top we're gonna make a really delicious savory fried pork with some preserved veg. I've been told that Dan Dan noodles are a great late night snack, but I can tell you they're a great everyday snack for me. So there are three main components to this recipe. We're gonna make the sauce, cook the meat, cook the noodles, and then we're good. So first off, we are going to make the sauce. We're gonna start off with some Chinese sesame paste. This is similar to tahini, but the difference with this paste is that these sesame seeds are roasted before they're ground, whereas tahini is usually made with raw sesame seeds or sometimes lightly roasted sesame seeds. So the Chinese sesame paste has a deeper, kind of nuttier flavor. I definitely prefer it, but both are good. If you're in a pinch and you only have tahini, you can totally use that. Next, we're gonna add some soy sauce, a little bit of black vinegar, some sesame oil for some extra nuttiness, a little bit of sugar just to help round out everything, keep it a little sweet, and then of course, some MSG. Now for some extra flavor, we're gonna add some grated garlic. I like to just shave it right on a microplane, get that in there. Beautiful. First time I tried Dan Dan noodles was probably like when I was a kid with my parents. There's this Sichuanese place that we go to back home. I'm from California, and it's the best. I just remember it being really nice and spicy, but not too spicy where I couldn't handle it as a small child. But talk about spice, we are going to add in some Sichuan peppercorn. This has been ground with a mortar and pestle. This gives you that mala flavor, so it's gonna be spicy and kind of give you that mouth-numbing feel. My mouth is kind of watering as I think about it. I'm very excited about this. And now we're just going to give this a mix. It's okay if it's feeling a little thick at first. Once we cook our noodles, we're gonna add some of that cooking liquid in to just thin it out a bit. Oh, I forgot the most important part of this recipe. We definitely cannot forget our chili oil. In this recipe, I call for 3 tablespoons, but I like it spicy. As you can tell, I made this jar like 2 days ago, and it's kind of concerning how much I've already had. So I'm gonna add 5 and go from there. We can always add more spice in at the end if we like. So in here, I have some red pepper flakes, some sesame seeds. I heat the oil with star anise and some cinnamon, so it has that kind of like warming flavor. Okay, this is looking much better, and you were missing a very important part of this recipe. Okay, beautiful. Quick taste test. Very good. Definitely has that nuttiness. It's spicy, not too spicy, it's good. And then it's very well rounded with that extra acidity from the vinegar and the sugar. Before we get into cooking, we want to make sure that all of our toppings and everything else is prepped, so once our noodles are hot, we're ready to serve. First, I'm going to take 2 scallions, cut the bottoms off. The white and light green portion we're going to thinly slice because I'm going to cook this with our pork. And then we're gonna save the dark parts of our scallions, and I'm gonna cut it on a steep bias, and this is going to be used for our garnish. And I have a little food styling hack that I always use when I serve anything with scallions on top. So I like to pop the dark parts of our scallion into some cold water and kind of massage it really quick with my fingers, because the cold water is gonna help our scallions kind of curl up, so it's gonna look like a nice little present once we plate our noodles up. All right, now we are going to julienne some cucumbers, and this is gonna add a really nice crunch to the top of our noodles. We have a lot of really strong flavors happening with our meat and that sesame sauce, so this just adds a bit of freshness. I wanna just do nice thin julienne. Gorgeous. Now we're going to peel and mince some ginger. You can cut it off, but I don't like to waste, so I like to take a spoon and just scrape off the skin of our ginger. That way we have maximum gingerness, less skin. That's good. I'm going to thinly slice our ginger that is beautifully peeled. And then we're gonna just give it a quick mince. It doesn't need to be perfect. We're just gonna stir fry it with our pork. I know, I think that people get scared, and sometimes even I do when I make a recipe, to add too much sugar to a savory dish, but especially in Chinese and a lot of Asian cooking, sugar is a really important part of most dishes. It adds balance, it helps caramelize meats or, add extra flavor to a sauce. So don't be scared, add more. And then if you add too much, just add some other stuff, balance it out. More MSG, more salt, it'll be fine. I am somebody who always would rinse my dishes before putting in the dishwasher, but apparently that's wrong. TikTok tells me it's wrong. And also apparently I put my bowls in the wrong way. Okay, so you're supposed to put your bowls in, like if I'm looking at the dishwasher, I would normally line my bowls up like this. No way, yeah, but no, I would normally line up my bowls like this. You're supposed to do it, I think, like this.
On the side, right? Yeah.
Like on the top rack.
Oh.
I don't know, TikTok tells me I do it wrong. I don't even know which way I do it anymore, so as long as they're clean and I have a dishwasher, I'm happy. Okay, moving on to cooking our meat. I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of a neutral oil. You can use any oil you like. I'm using veg oil. And then we're gonna add in our pork. I have 8 ounces of minced pork. And we're just going to break it up into little pieces, and I'm gonna let that cook until we see that fat start to render. So we're just waiting for this to be mostly cooked through. We can see the fat is starting to render here, and at this point, we're gonna add in our aromatics. So we're gonna throw in the white parts of the scallions, that ginger that we minced, and then for that secret ingredient I was mentioning earlier, we have yatai. So this is a preserved mustard green. It's double fermented with salt, brown sugar, and some spices, and it's a really important ingredient in a lot of Sichuanese cooking. It's something that I really like to keep in my fridge at all times. If I'm making a stir fry or a noodle dish, I just like to add it in for extra flavor and that like little umami bump. Okay, it's starting to smell super good. I mean, you definitely can and to make it extra spicy, but I prefer to keep it in the sauce. When you cook it, it kind of expresses those flavors, so it does get really spicy, and sometimes it can have a tendency to be a little bit bitter, but again, add more sugar, add more acid, all good. Okay, now at this point, we are going to deglaze our pan with a little bit of Shaoxing wine, and then let most of that cook off. Smells so good right now. I wish you could smell this. We're gonna wait for most of that liquid to evaporate. It'll only take, 30 seconds to a minute or so. This is beautiful. Our pork is starting to ever so slightly brown, which is great. And now at this point, we're gonna add some extra flavoring. We're gonna add some hoisin sauce in here. And then we're gonna add a little bit of regular soy sauce and a little bit of dark soy sauce. I like to do both, not only for flavor, but that dark soy sauce also helps give it a little bit of a deeper color. And we're just gonna cook this for about another 2-ish minutes. I wanna see that meat kind of start to caramelize from the sugars that are in that hoisin sauce. And then we're gonna be good to move on. All right, our water's boiling and we are going to cook our veg. I have choy sum here, which, one's in. Let's put all of them in and I'll tell you about it. So we're using choy sum. If you ever had bok choy or gailan, it's kind of like a hybrid in between. It's really nice and tender. And the direct translation is vegetable heart or heart of the vegetable, which I just think is really sweet. All right, now we're going to cook our noodles. I'm using a wheat noodle here. These are fresh wheat noodles. They're really great because they do a really great job at holding that sauce that we just made. But if you don't have wheat noodles, you can really use any long noodle. I've made these sesame noodles with linguine or regular spaghetti, and it's just as good. You definitely don't need to cook your noodles in a little noodle basket, but it is very convenient because you can just pull it out whenever it's done. So we want our noodles to be kind of al dente. But I would say cook to whatever your package directions are. These ones you cook for, it's very specific. The package says 3 minutes and 10 seconds. I'm gonna wing it and do my internal clock is decent-ish. So we're gonna go with that. Has it been 3 minutes and 10 seconds? I don't know, but that's perfect. You just pop your noodles right in. And it's okay if you take a little bit of that cooking liquid with you. We're actually gonna add a little bit more to thin out that sauce. But before I move on to that, we're going to take our veggies out and we're going to take our choy sum out. It's nice, bright, and green. I hope nobody makes fun of my chopstick holding skills. My mom says I hold chopsticks like I do a pencil, but I do my best. I'm gonna add about a 4-ish cup of this cooking liquid in here to help loosen that sauce up. We can add more as we go if we feel like the sauce is a little too thick. So I'm just going to give this all a mix. This looks and smells delicious. The warm noodles really help those aromatics just pop. All we need to do is assemble. We have very beautiful long noodles. Look at that, how gorgeous. This is a dish that my mom would make all the time growing up, and it's definitely something that I make a lot now too. It takes about 30 minutes to whip together, so it's a really great weeknight meal. You get your carbs in, you have your protein and a little veg, so what more can you want? Beautiful. And then to serve, I'm gonna chop up some roasted peanuts really quick, just a small little handful. Add as much as you'd like. All right, we have our peanuts chopped, and then on top of our noodles, we're going to add that ground pork. I'm just gonna put about half of it on here. Look at how stunning that is, this combo together with that really delicious kind of sweet, savory pork and those sesame noodles. Can't even. Okay, now we're going to do our peanuts right on top. I'm gonna use my hands, don't be mad. I'm going to throw on some of our choy sum right on the side. And then we have our scallions that we put in the cold water. I'm just gonna grab a couple of them right on top. Cucumbers, and because I like mine extra spicy, we're going to add some more chili oil. See, I was testing this recipe earlier this week, and this is why almost this whole jar is gone. I'm obsessed. Okay, there we go, chili oil on top. And that is our bowl of Dan Dan noodles. Let's give it a try. Okay, also look at these chopsticks, aren't they cute? Okay, give it a little mix. I want to get a good amount of meat with our noodles. Big bite. It's definitely spicy, but not overpoweringly so. And that meat on top with the preserved mustard greens is so good and really balances out that kind of sweet creaminess of the noodles. It's one of my favorites. That is so good. Bye.